Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm Bobby Pomneville, and I am your arts reporter. Today we're going to focus on music. You know it's one of my favorite subjects. And I've invited Andy Haase to come. He is the artistic director and conductor of the River City Chorale, of which I am a member. And he is also the director of choral activities at the Hudson High School. But we will pretty much focus on the summer choir and a few of those things today. So welcome back, Andy.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here.
I haven't interviewed you for a while, so I'm really looking forward to this. And you know, summer choir is so much fun.
It's a blast, isn't it?
I just enjoy it so much. I come there with a lot of different things on my mind, and maybe I've been gardening or whatever, but just to get there and sing, and everything just falls into place.
It's a wonderful time.
And tell me about the numbers this year.
Yes, well, first of all, this is our 10th year. This is our 10th anniversary season of doing the River City Chorale. It started 10 years ago. My hopes was to have just a small group of people to get together in the summer and sing. And I think that first concert we maybe had 100 and some people join. This year, for our 10th season, we have, I think, over 160 singers in the chorale from all over Western Wisconsin and eastern part of Minnesota and the Twin Cities area.
Mm-hmm. That is just amazing, because I think we're going to outgrow that church pretty soon.
I think so too.
But thank goodness we have air conditioning, and it's really a nice site.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Whatever you come up with, it seems like there's always a place for you to be, and it's such a success. It's such a popular group.
Well, thank you.
And then just think about it. This year you were gone a little, but we won't talk about that right now. But then we've been going forward on fundraiser and donations and different things, and we're a nonprofit now. And it's kind of fun to be on the board and be involved with some of that.
It's hard to believe that, 10 years ago we started off as just a bunch of people getting together. We had a very small amount of dues just to kind of cover some minimal costs that we had at the time. And we, like you said, we've grown to a 501c3 organization. We have a full board of directors that I think it's been running for 6, maybe 7 years now. Yeah. Very successful in our fundraising efforts to make sure that this is a sustainable organization that continues well beyond my years.
Well, and just think of what you created here in this community, how much people can get out of your choirs and your summer groups, your winter groups. One of my favorites, of course, is your Christmas group too, because that's the time of year when we love to sing and we love to get together with you. And you have such a variety of music. I've always enjoyed your selections.
Well, thank you.
You know, I just find there's so much music there, but there's something for everybody.
Absolutely. First of all, the large chorale is a non-audition group. It's open to anyone ages 16 and older. We just require that you have some previous singing experience and a passion for music and camaraderie and enjoying working and making music with people. So you have to pick literature that A, suits the needs of the ensemble, and B, I have to enjoy the music as well.
Right.
And we also have to make sure that there's something there for the audience as well. And so going into it, of course, I'm not going to pick music that lowers the bar. I want to raise the bar. Even for maybe that singer that hasn't sung in 15, 20, 25 years, we need to challenge that singer just as much as someone like you who has been singing their whole life and has lots of experience. So I really take a lot of time to ensure that I have a concert program that benefits everyone involved.
Yes, and another compliment to you, you have people in high school and graduates and people that are coming back. And it seemed like through the years you just built that group, and it's really a good group of singers.
It's fun. I love my job at the high school.
Yes.
But I also love my job with River City Chorale and working with adults and sharing our gift of music in a very different way that I think can be very impactful to certainly the Hudson community, but the communities all around Hudson as well.
Right. Well, now we got to talk about the music.
Absolutely.
Because I see you're all ready.
I've got it all laid out here. So how I work is I research music all year long, and I have spreadsheets for all of my choirs, and I start putting things in, and I have to come up with themes and ideas. And it's usually one song that catches my attention, and I can't get rid of it. And then I build a program off of that song. And this year it was Joseph Martin's The Awakening.
Oh.
I remember doing this song when I was a student in high school, and I sang it under Weston Noble at Luther College at the Dorian Festival.
Yes.
And I recently heard a phenomenal recording by the Atlanta Master Chorale performing this piece, and I thought, I need to do this with the chorale. It's perfect for them.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And once I found...
It's in my favorites.
There you go.
It's in my favorites right here.
Once I find that main piece, then I kind of build a program around that to make sure that all the music complements that piece and to go with the theme, which of course this year is Awake My Soul and Sing.
Oh, how perfect. That is just, the first time we sang it, I thought this is going to be great.
It's one of those songs that really needs a large choir.
Yes.
You can certainly do it with a small group of 20, 25 singers, but to have a group of 100 plus singers, I think is very powerful. And so I took that text, which comes later on in the song, which is Awake My Soul and Sing.
Right.
And I wanted to find music that inspired the singers, that inspired me, and that I think will inspire audience members. You know, we live in a world where just too much is going on. We need to take a step back and find out what is important to us. And I think the music that I've selected this year will help audience members and singers find out what is important and to share those gifts through this incredible literature.
Yes. Yes, and it's working because people are just delighted around me.
So I tend to find both secular and sacred pieces for our
Yes.
concerts. Of course, The Awakening, Psalm 100 by Caleb French. I have to have a Dan Forrest piece in there. He's one of my favorite composers. And someone asked me, how come we're not doing a patriotic song this year? Well, it is. It's the Eternal Father, which is, it's the Navy hymn.
I love that piece.
Some people don't realize that, but yeah, that's the Navy hymn. And
That
so that's
melody,
kind of
and it's just so stirring, and it's really a new arrangement I've never
Absolutely.
heard.
And I think what everyone has enjoyed about this year's music is there's some familiar tunes in here with a very different twist and arrangement to it. You think it's going to go somewhere, but the arranger changes it and goes in a completely different direction, which breathes just new life into some of these very familiar tunes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And I also have to have something light. I always look at music as kind of a plate of food. You have to have your meat, your potatoes. You got to have something for dessert, right?
Yes.
And so this year, some of my favorites, an arrangement by Mark Haase, Pure Imagination from the movie Willy Wonka.
Right.
Of course, It's a Grand Night for Singing, Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Oh, that's perfect.
Which is interesting because 10 years ago, we sang a different arrangement of this, but we did It's a Grand Night for Singing. That was our theme for our first year, which was the Hudson Community Choir back then.
And you brought it
Started
back.
this. And so I wanted to bring that back in celebration of our 10th year. And of course, from Oklahoma, Oh, What a Beautiful Morning.
Oh, I know. I love that one too. Those are great singable things, and audience will love it.
They will. I think the audience is going to enjoy everything. I'm sure everyone will have that one or that two songs that they really enjoy that caught their ear, but I don't think there's one song in here that the audience is not going to really enjoy. I think the choir's enjoying performing them.
Yes.
I'm having just a lovely, wonderful time teaching the music. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun.
I can tell you're enjoying it. You're very enthusiastic, and your attention to detail is what I like. Because we don't just sing and get by with things. If you hear something you don't quite like, or if you notice that someone hasn't perfected something, that's the best part of it.
Absolutely, and I mean that's what I strive. I've got a choir that sings in my head, and that's how I rehearse. And whether it's the chorale, the ensemble singers, whether it's choirs at the high school, I've got a choir in my head that I hear in this music, and I try to get my choirs to get to what I kind of call my perfect sound, my perfect choir. Now nothing's perfect, but boy, we should certainly try to reach perfection as close as possible.
Yes.
And so you're right. I think attention to detail is very important. In my rehearsals, they're very fast-paced. We stop a lot, and sometimes we can focus on a measure for a long period of time, but it doesn't seem to be that long because it goes quickly, though. And the singers are so responsive. They're just wonderful people.
Yeah, and you're so funny in a lot of your actions, and you kind of fake being upset sometimes, and it's really just.
Well, I don't know if I fake being upset.
You're actually getting through to us, and that's the main thing.
People are paying money to be in a choir. They want to have a good experience. They want to be pushed, and they want to learn, and they want to share those gifts.
Yes.
And what you see is what you get with me. I'm kind of right there. I'm in your face, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Yep. And I've known you a long time.
Yes, you have. I think people appreciate that. And I think
I
people
do.
appreciate passion, and I think they see that.
Yes,
and
definitely.
it's contagious. They see it in me, and they see it in their neighbor, and they see it in this section and that section.
Yes.
And collectively, the group wants to achieve and do some wonderful things.
Yes, yes, and people are always striving to please you and to get it right.
Well, and I don't want to
that's-
say please me. Let's say please the music.
Well,
Please
okay.
the music.
Well, to make the music as good as it can be, and I do think you've got that method down for inspiring people.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Good.
Kind words.
Yes, but truly, if I enjoy it, and I'm back every year.
That's true. You've been there every
And there's
season.
quite a few of us
Yes.
that
yeah.
have been there every year.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably 20 to 30 that have been in there every single season.
Yes.
And the wonderful thing is we get new singers every year too. So
True.
We're spreading the message.
And I run into people around town and wherever I am, and often they'll say, well, I can't sing this year. What are you doing? And they're in there and they're like, well, I can't do it this year, but I'll be back.
Yep.
So it's people sometimes that are doing their own thing, and I suppose things come up and it's families and that, but they're always planning to come back.
Yes. It's always fun.
So now you're going to get to your favorite section here. How can I
You know what?
keep from
I love them
singing?
all. Some folk
That's
songs. How Can I Keep From Singing? A great arrangement by Gwyneth Walker, accompanied by brass quintet. We have a great piece by Susan Brumfield, an arrangement. It's an old camp song.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
just
I like
builds.
that.
It starts off small and it gets larger and bigger. I mean, that's what a camp song is. Wonderful piece called Glory Day. And then, of course, a really new piece by Jacob Navarud, Lunar Lullaby. Most all of these arrangements, I'd say 80% of them are all either new compositions within the last year or two, or certainly within the last 5 years. I'm kind of on a new music kick and trying to get new composers and arrangers some airtime to get some of their great arrangements and publications out there for people to hear.
I knew you had to bring back that one.
Yes.
How can I keep from singing? Because people love it. We love it.
Yep.
And it's just almost like one of our themes.
It's a great arrangement. Great
And
arrangement.
it is a good arrangement. It's really an excellent arrangement. So, yeah, and I'm really happy when you bring things back, even if it's a different composer or a little different twist here or there. I mean, things like that are really fun for us.
Good.
And very enjoyable. So I think you've got a really good concert here.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that. So our first performance
Yes.
is going to be at Trinity Lutheran Church in Stillwater. And I believe it's Monday, the 22nd of July, correct?
Well, what about St. Andrew's?
Oh, yeah. So
on
we're singing
Sunday?
it on St. Andrews. I think the date is maybe the 22nd on that.
Yes, it is.
22nd at
Yes.
St. Andrews, singing at 2 different church services. Obviously not our entire concert program, but the sacred
No.
music,
Right.
which is a great way to reach a totally different audience than we normally would.
Oh, and it's
then
a
our
huge church.
It's a large church, absolutely.
And everybody should go there at least once or twice, just to be in that church, to see what's going on, and the organist and everything else is
Yes.
just fabulous.
Musicians there are
And you are
phenomenal.
directing a choir there.
Yep, actually, this year I'll be directing the high school choir at St. Andrews Lutheran Church
Good.
in a kind of a different role. So I'm
Oh.
looking forward to that as well.
That's wonderful.
So that's the 22nd. On the 23rd, we'll be at Trinity in Stillwater at
Yes.
7 p.m., the full formal concert. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for youth, age 18 and under.
Right.
And people can get their tickets online. I'm sure they'll put it up on the screen for you. You can also get your tickets at the door. And Trinity is a fabulous church to sing in and
Yes,
also
it
to be an audience member at the concert. So I hope people will join us.
It's a very popular concert venue for
Absolutely.
many groups. And it's really nice that we are now going to be there regularly, you might say.
Absolutely. They've
And
been-
that's the only one we're charging for.
Yeah. Yep. And then we have outdoor concerts. Of course, those are kind of a different performance venue, a little more lighter. But we'll be at the Hudson Band Shell on Thursday, the 26th, I believe.
Yes.
And then on Monday, the 30th, we'll be at Como Park in St. Paul in their enclosed pavilion. So even if it's raining, we sing. And that's a great place to sing outdoor at
Yes,
Como
I
Park.
love that venue. When we first went there, it was so neat to be there by the lake. And then they have this huge stage and people sit all around, and I just love that place.
It's great. They have a restaurant. People can go grab a beer or a glass of wine. They
Yes.
can come sit down
Yes.
and listen to the choir. It's a great place.
It is. I'm really glad we're doing that venue again, and it's become a regular. So lots of options for our audience to come to hear us. And I suppose if you like air conditioning, you can come to Trinity.
Absolutely. And that's going to be a full concert program. And of course, it's indoors and the acoustics are great.
Right.
So I do hope people will
Right.
join us over at Stillwater.
Great place. Well, now I have to ask you about your half year you spent in England.
Yes.
And you were on a little sabbatical from Hudson. And I just have to hear about that choir you were directing
Absolutely.
there. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so I took a sabbatical the second half of the year. My wife was in England for the entire year, and so my daughters and I joined her after Christmas.
Yes.
And I was an interim director with the Reading Festival Chorus in Reading, England. It was a great opportunity. They were in between directors, and it was just happened that I was available and they needed me. A wonderful group of people. It was an audition choir, adult choir of 80 singers.
Oh, my.
And rehearsed one night a week for 3 months, and then we did one performance before their new director started. So it was, a great way for me to continue my musical endeavors.
Yes.
Just
yes.
over the pond. So it was a lot of
Well,
fun.
what did you find that was kind of unusual over there when you're directing this choir?
Well, I would say maybe discipline. I think we have a lot of fun in our choirs, and sometimes
Yes,
the
we
talking
do.
can be a little too much. They were
Yes.
very well disciplined.
Yes.
They were a lot of fun. They sight read music, Baroque and classical, quite well. They really had no exposure to American music at all. And so my part of programming was to bring some of that literature to them. And so they really enjoyed that and learning just a different style of music that they had never really been exposed to
my.
before. So it was a lovely time. We had a lot of fun.
Right. And you know, when you go to England, you think about the masters.
Yep.
And Handel and all those people. And I suppose that's the direction they're coming
Absolutely. They do the standards. They do the classic choral literature.
Right,
And they don't really deviate too much from that. Whereas the United States, we certainly do that, but we also have so much other options as well.
from. Yes. Well, we're going to have to cut this short today, but I think I'll bring you back in the fall.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk a little more about the high school and the musical coming up and everything else. But I thank you so much for coming today, because this is just a wonderful promotion for the summer choir and for the concerts that are coming up. And I know how much I enjoy it. So I hope you will come to one of our concerts. There may be two. We actually have people that go to several. But please do come. If you want any more information, we're going to put some out on the screen here during the video and so on. So again, thanks, Andy.
Thank you so much. It's always a privilege to talk with you.
Yes.
And I hope people will be able to join us for one of our performances this summer.
That's my hope too, and we need more audience and we need to share music with you, so please come. So we hope you enjoyed the interview today, and we'll see you at one of the concerts.